What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. That's the one, the only. It is Scott Savage. Scott, what's up, buddy?
I'm trying to get together an Age of Empires big group game. Are you in?
Yeah, dude, I'm in.
I think we're playing Age 2. I've got Nate and Ben so far. Maybe Lucas.
Oh, man, I'm rusty. I gotta... Oh, this is gonna take some work. All right, I gotta... You play... Okay, so this just came out... No, we're not even getting into the show yet. Let's talk. Let's talk. Are we playing on Xbox? Is that what we're doing?
That's what the other guys are playing on. I think I'm gonna stick to PC. I'm curious to play Xbox though. So if it's a term of handicap, I'll go back to Xbox.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it'll definitely be a turn of handicap. Dude, there's a whole different setup right there, right? Because you got the scroll wheel and you got... Man, I gotta get back into it. I started it, but then I had to bounce out for other things. But yeah, man, if we can get a group, I'm so in. I'll get dominated in a second, but it should be fun. I should do that. There's blast. Hey, so here's what we've been doing a lot lately. We've been in the world of Wild Hearts over on the show. Review is up this week. Make sure you check that out. Here's a tip. Are you ready, Scott?
Yeah.
This comes in from my brother. Wild Hearts life lesson. When you beat a creature that is the mission, go talk to whoever you need to finish the job, because if you completely die helping someone else, you lose the mission.
You need to go check in with your mission giver at the end. Yeah,
that's right. He says, granted, I did get everything I died with when I died after getting the creature, but the story just didn't move on for him. So there's a little life lesson for everybody. But dude, let's get into the show, because we got a couple things to talk about where everybody can join us live at noon Eastern over on twitch.tv/theofficialitg, as well as youtube.com/c/theofficialitg. That's right, we're Canadian. That's right. That's how it works around here, Scott. But if you can't join us live, then hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and all those beautiful TV networks around the globe. Today's show,
think we sound Canadian?
Eh? How's that say?
I could play it up, but...
No, we definitely could. Where is the Switch 2 from Nintendo, Scott? That's the question. But the successor is facing backwards compatibility challenges. Microsoft continues to dispute the UK regulators, and Cities Skylines II is coming this year. 2023. Dude, it's coming. Huh.
That's me excited.
Yeah. When did Cities Skylines 2 initially come out? Like, man, I feel like that was like...
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Right? 2015 or 16?
I was thinking 16, but maybe it's been a while. But, dude, let's get into it. I want to talk about Jordan Midler over at VGC. Switch successor faces backwards compatibility challenges, developer suggests. Nintendo Switch successor could face significant challenges implementing backwards compatibility, according to a new analyst by Respect content creator and Night Dive studio developer Modern Vintage Gamer. In a newly published video, MVG digs into the possible components for Nintendo's next console and explains why incompatibility between new hardware and how current Nintendo Switch software is compiled means that the support for the legacy Switch games isn't necessarily a given. Scott, are you concerned?
Yeah, this is something that was really annoying to me when I got the Switch the first time around. Because I don't know why, but I expected it to play 3DS cards. In 2D, of course.
That's okay. All right. Well, let's see what else he has to say here. The Nintendo Switch currently uses the Tegra X1, a chip developed by NVIDIA that also powers NVIDIA's Shield Android TVs from 2015 to 2018, highlighting the age of the hardware. Quote, if Nintendo is to move away from the Tegra X1, which we all feel strongly that they will probably do, current Switch games won't work on new hardware. That is without recompiling the games to target that hardware, end quote, explains MVG. Scott, new tech comes in and out all the time. We've seen the transition though with digital, and the way that's kind of allowed us to backtrack into some circumstances with games and allow us to keep that backwards compatibility thing alive, right? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
How do we preserve some of these games? And the way Nintendo's kind of set themselves up, it doesn't sound like it's really possible for the Switch 2, but man, at this point, I think developers are starting to feel the strain of the lack of power behind the current hardware of the Switch, and are looking to get into that next generation for the Switch. Dude, I'm telling you, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on Switch 2, if it was made just for the Switch 2, it'd be a whole different ballgame.
Oh, it could go, yeah, it could push a lot further than what is held back now by the current hardware. And Switch is quite old now.
It's very old.
It makes me wonder, are we going to get something of a cloud service that's really reinforced in order to preserve some of these things? Because there's emulation that we could do. And I've seen a lot of talk as to that's what Xbox does. Currently, it'll run a virtual 360.
Right.
And that's how it works that way. But it's unclear to me whether a Switch could run that.
Well, and then Northern Nerdcast joins us over on Twitch and says, if the Switch online services were better, I'd play more. I play on my Vita more, which is great, right? Like that's where we're at right now. Everybody is starting to slowly transition. Even PlayStation now with their own tier of PlayStation Plus has online service. Now they did have PlayStation Now. I know I'm not like oblivious to where they were at, but the technology there just wasn't matched. And then we get into where we are now with everybody else starting to play catch up. Nintendo is still way behind, but I'm curious when we get into the Switch 2, does that online component really get upped? Like, do they up the ante where that really lies so they can kind of go, like you say, Scott, back and play on the cloud so we can get it back into some of these other titles? Dude, I was on my Xbox the other day. I'm like, man, I feel like Mortal Kombat 11 is one of my go-to fighting games, but I didn't have it downloaded. Yo, I pulled it up on the Xbox cloud and away I went. It was awesome.
We still have to play a match on cloud because I need to know if it works without being enraged by the lag or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't have any lag issues. I really didn't. And that's the thing. If you can get past that, well, you'll see often though, if you are starting to feel that lag spike, what happens is the graphics quality will downgrade so it keeps the fidelity of the game alive. Again, rest in peace to the Stadia, but Stadia had that technology coming. Stadia needs to sell that tech to Nintendo and then let Nintendo, carry on and hopefully allow us to transition over. But at this point, dude, where is the Switch 2? Like, while the Switch 2 could theoretically do this, it would require significant processing power. Even the Steam Deck, which is significantly more powerful device than this Nintendo Switch, struggles to emulate some Switch titles. MVG then suggests a solution that NVIDIA and Nintendo provide a chip compatibility for Tegra X1 on the next chip. However, as MVG points out, this is not currently supported and would seemingly require a lot of new work. The next suggestion offered is that the Nintendo includes a Tegra X1 chip in every Switch successor, meaning older games can be played without emulation of the new software, similarly to how the Nintendo GameCube's chipset was included in the Nintendo Wii. Scott. One solution to get around it, right? But at the end of the day, as Nintendo progresses to move forward, right? Because let's face it, I don't think Nintendo's going to go anywhere. We get it in the Switch 2, right? They carry over the Tegra X1 chip. So that way we can all play past Nintendo titles. What happens when we get to Nintendo Switch 3 or whatever the next unit is, right? That piece of hardware. Or is it just all cloud and it no longer matters? Because we're starting to see Xbox, PlayStation, Nvidia has their G Cloud unit, right? Like everybody's going to the cloud. Once technology kind of like we're close. We're very, very close, but we're just not quite there yet. I think at the granular, scope of it all, it works, but it's not perfect. Until it's perfect, like you'll never play a competitive shooter on the cloud. Not right now.
Or a fighting game, Evo from on the cloud. It's not going to happen. I saw something interesting. The cloud is a myth. It's not real. All there is other people's hardware.
That's one way of looking at it. It's hardware that we
Stadia,
don't worry
Xbox about. I think Stadia and Xbox had like a square kilometer of server. That would be as close as you get to a cloud, I suppose. But no, in 10 years or the next console generation, we very well could be an all digital scape, which is weird to me. And because I like physical hardware, but at the same time, I'm okay with just having a chip slot in the Switch 2, Switch 3. If I could just plug the games in, sure. Yeah. Let's put a Game Boy Advance slot on there too.
If we went away with consoles, I'd probably be okay with it at this point. I think if I just pick up a controller, as long as I still have a controller, then I'm good to go.
Yeah.
And it just plugs in, the cloud plugs into my TV, and away we play. Dude, I'm not worried about downloads. I'm not worried about updates. I'm not worried about anything. I just go to my library. Yeah, I purchased this game. Good to go. And that's how Stadia worked. Dude, that's how Stadia worked. And it's still, I'm going to keep that one.
It's still down to local internet, though. I think of Darren. Darren would still be just
his
gone.
Awful, right? Like, there are circumstances. Obviously, we're pretty lucky. The fact that we're in a location that our internet is so solid. But for the most part, like, everything works. But when you get into where my brother, he's out in the sticks kind of thing, and his internet is half the time he just drops his party chat with us. So yeah, that's the way that goes. But dude, let's get over to the exclusive from Stephen Totillo over at Axios. Says Microsoft disputes UK regulators' key Call of Duty stat. Microsoft says the UK regulator that might block its Activision Blizzard acquisition has significantly overcounted the potential impact of making the Call of Duty franchise exclusive to Xbox and PC. The tech giant first tells Axios. So this is some exclusive content, some exclusive news coming in by Steven, but the matters that will just never seem to end. But it sounds like we're coming to a closure here sooner than later, which is thankful. Here's why it matters, though, Scott. The UK's competition, the CMA, has repeatedly expressed skepticism about the deal, in part because of the number of people it believes would abandon Sony PlayStation for Xbox. During the news, a YouGov survey commissioned by Microsoft in January found that just 3% of all PlayStation users would switch to buying an Xbox if Microsoft pulled Call of Duty from PlayStation, according to a copy of the study shared by Microsoft with Axios. Scott, what are your thoughts 3%. There? Dude, is that a lot lower? Because I'm going, no way. Like, if that's your go-to game and you can't play it, I bought an Xbox because Splinter Cell Conviction was just on Xbox. And that's not nearly as big at the end of the day as Call of Duty is.
Metal Gear Solid 4, I almost got a PlayStation for that. I should have.
Right? It's
only 3% of people, though, would drop that. I think we've just been overestimating how many people are really all core on Call of Duty.
Oh, that's a good thought right there, too. That's possible as well. The CMA's own survey conducted by DJS Research in December estimated that 15% of avid Call of Duty PlayStation players playing at least 10 hours or spending at least $100 on the series in the past would switch to Xbox. The CMA's own figure for all PlayStation owners who'd leave for Xbox is redacted from the public version of its recently released provisional findings, though it's cited as proof that, quote, PlayStation is likely to lose a significant share, end quote. Microsoft's survey found that 10 10.5% of Call of Duty gamers who rank the franchise as one of their top 2 favorites would have switched to consoles. Here's what Microsoft needs to do. Microsoft has reportedly denied it would take Call of Duty away from PlayStation or offer it as in an inferior state, but the CMA says evidence, including a survey, show Microsoft is incentivized to do so. The CMA's, dude, there's a lot on this article here. Holy.
Yeah.
But it's like it all kind of, dude, it all adds up, right? Here's what they're saying. Basically, as we have said all along, it makes zero business sense, to take Call of Duty off of PlayStation. Dude, it makes no sense. At the grand scheme of things, does it make sense to you, Scott, to pull it, or should they just leave it there?
No, because if they leave it there, they're going to capitalize on sales in that ecosystem, is
Right.
my understanding. If you take it off there, you're cutting your own sales.
No, absolutely. Brad says he got an Xbox for the same time at Splinter Cell Conviction. Nice, dude. That's cool. That's what pulled me in, right? And it was one of those things. But when we get back to this article here, dude, it doesn't make any sense. But does it, when you take a look at Bethesda, though, you're only getting Starfield on Xbox. Like they've said straight out, that's an exclusive title for Xbox. Granted, why do you go to PlayStation, Scott? Spider-Man, Last of Us,
Yeah,
God of War, right?
Horizon.
Yeah, they're all exclusives on that platform. So you want to be a part of that? Then you go to that platform. Could Call of Duty be that pull for Xbox? I can see the concern coming from PlayStation. I can see the concern coming from the UK regulators. But from a business perspective, Phil Spencer's like, yo, we want to make a ton of money. This is how we do it. And at the other side of it too, it's the mobile division that they really want to pull in on. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's a whole other side of this discussion. Everybody's focusing on the whole Call of Duty thing. And that's only like a small marginal component of what Microsoft is looking to achieve here when they buy Activision Blizzard, because they have King, the mobile side of it too. And that's really where they want to go in and capitalize on, because it's a money-making giant in the mobile division, right? Man.
I think so far Xbox really has nothing in terms of mobile.
No,
Not
exactly.
that I'm aware of.
No, they don't. So when you get in there, right, like the Diablo's on mobile. Everybody, criticized Diablo. What is it? Diablo Immortal? Is that what it's called?
Oh, I'm not sure which one it was that got that in trouble. But
man,
what's wrong? You guys all have a phone, right?
Yeah. So, but it made a ton of money, right? That's the thing. So all of a sudden now Microsoft's in that wheelhouse because they have some of the biggest brands. It is Immortal. Thanks, Brad. So it's like they're there. They want a part of that pie and get in there and make it a ton of money over in the mobile division that they have no access to basically right now. Right? You don't see a Forza game come. Did we see a Forza game? Maybe we did see a Forza game. Or am I thinking Need for Speed? I'm thinking Need for Speed. So I'm going to back that up. I don't think there's a Forza game on mobile, right? But we don't have Fable there. We don't have some of the big, there's no Halo there. So like there's none of those big franchises. But when you have Call of Duty, dude, you have Call of Duty mobile. That is there. And it makes a ton of money. And Warzone is coming over to mobile as well. So there's a whole other division, I think, that people are overlooking that Microsoft is really looking to capitalize on, and not so much Call of Duty. They'll leave Call of Duty everywhere else because then they're going to own the landscape when it comes to the mobile division over PlayStation.
Oh, think about all those, all the microtransactions in a Call of Duty that would still be capitalized by Xbox. Of course, they want to put it in front of as many people as possible.
No kidding. No, it makes total sense. So
even through Nintendo, and it adds more pressure on Nintendo. How are they going to solve this cloud issue?
Oh man, yep, we'll see, Scott. But what we did see yesterday was Cities Skylines II announced, releasing this year. Marcus Stewart over at Game Informer. Cities Skylines II was announced at Paradox's announcement show, and it's coming later this year. This follow-up builds upon its 2015, Scott. There it
was
is.
15. There
predecessor with new features such as fully realized transportation and economy system. Paradox didn't reveal too many other specifics beyond stating in a press release that the game features, quote, a wealth of construction and customization options and advanced modding capabilities. Cities was heavily influenced by the modding community, and dude, like there's so many mods in there. It makes a lot of sense. It's a Steam game, but it is also coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Game Pass, and PC. So it's going to be on all the other platforms as well. But PC is like, dude, it's home on PC.
Yeah, that seems to be the most comfortable way of doing it. Just like any RTS, really. Although that is being challenged, as we will discover with Age of Empires 2.
Man, I got to download that again. I think I deleted
Oh,
it.
I'm
Might
on
be
it
on.
this afternoon.
Is there cloud? Is there cloud for Age?
On the console, I believe so. Yeah.
All right, that might be my way in. We'll see. I'm sure it's not a big file either. But either way, getting back to
Can't be
Cities
the only one on
Skylines.
PC. I'll join you on the Xbox.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Dude, it looks like, okay, so we go way back to 2015. Dude, that's a different time, right? It's really a different time for the city building genre. And I loved it back then. I still love the city building genre now. And they're going to be able to capitalize and move everything forward. Everybody's transitioning into that Unreal Engine 5 state. So graphics are being upscaled. Everything is being upscaled to that next level. I'm really excited to see what Cities Skylines is going to introduce and allow us to dive into. How nitty gritty can we get into some of these mechanics? What can we do when it comes to customization? Right?
Yeah,
They had a
the economy details kind of make me, worried,
no,
daunted.
no, I think that's we granted, right? You do get a little nervous of going, is this really gonna pay off? Is this really gonna work out the way we want it to? I don't know, right? Because it could be sometimes you jump into some of these games, it's like, yo,
It's
this
a little
is
much.
this is a little heavy for what I want to get into. Yeah. Dude, I
Now,
want to get
do you think we're ever going to see a SimCity again, or do you think
man,
SimCity's been replaced?
I think SimCity's been replaced. It breaks my heart because I've been a long time fan of the SimCity franchise, and I've played so many of them. And the last one I loved. You can upgrade like certain buildings that you had, so you always made sure you had a bit of space, but then you had made sure you had space around it too to make sure that you were covered for when all this other stuff would kind of expands upon it. Right? Dude, it was so cool. And I'm hoping maybe the Skylines takes a little piece of that and allows us to do that here with the sequel. We don't really know much about it, just that we know that it's coming, and that's kind of where we're at. So, but I think they're gone. Isn't like that was Maxis back in the day, dude? Are they still around? I don't know if they're still around anymore. That's the
I'm not so sure. I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking it up. I thought EA shut them down. Looks like I'm wrong. I think they're still around, but Scott, they're working on The Sims. So
okay.
That's where they're at. Yeah. So as far as SimCity goes, I don't think we'll ever see it. Unfortunately, it kind of breaks my heart to say that, but yeah, I think they're done. Oh.
Well, in the competitive market, City Skylines came, took its lunch, and then sat down at the table.
It sure did, man. That's for sure. Dude, we have a couple announcements and things today. Why don't you take over there? Because we got a lot.
We do have a huge amount of announcement here. So, first of all, Redfall has they had an MMA situation, or sorry, an AMA. MMA is quite different. The question was, in regard to cosplay, can we play with Steam friends while on Game Pass version, or would we need to be all on the same platform? And the answer was, you can definitely play with your friends on Steam. You join your friends wherever they are. I think that's been expanded upon to include the Epic Game Store as well.
Wow, that's
so
great.
Everybody can get in and jump in together. That's good. I've had that issue with Age of Empires specifically since that came up.
Game chat, I'm thinking then, right? It'll be all
chat,
right?
There must be an internal account. You'll make a new name. I have to assume Bethesda account, perhaps.
Yeah, probably. And then talk to everybody though. If you want, you can probably just use Discord because Discord's on Xbox as well, and then cross other PlayStation and wherever you want to go. Dude, I love the fact that everybody is included now. It doesn't matter what platform you're on; you're able to play with your friends, and I think that is such a selling feature. I love it.
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
Oh, I remember when I was doing investigative. Hey, wait a minute. There's spaces in this one. Hey, that means Xbox gamer tags and putting it together way back in Rocket League. Oh, it's a new world now. But we also have an announcement of the Lamplighters League and the Tower at the End of the World. Paradox Interactive, a publisher and developer of games for scholars and scoundrels alike, announced the Lamplighters League and the Tower at the End of the World. That is an incredibly long title. A new game coming soon from Harebrained Schemes, the Seattle-based developer of the Shadowrun trilogy and Battletech. The Lamplighters League is an original pulp adventure set in the alternative 1930s, where a tyrannical cult named the Banished Court stands on the cusp of world domination. For millennia, all that stood between this sinister cabal and their plans was a band of heroic scholars known as the Lamplighters League. This reads a lot like Assassin's Creed. Unfortunately, the best of the best are all gone, so now it's up to the best of the worst. And that
Dude,
is where you come in.
it looks cool. I watched the trailer. I'm excited. I really am excited. I think this game looks awesome. The play style is something that we played in the past and adore, right? It reminds me a lot of Desperados 3. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's very cool, that top-down, turn-based strategy, stealth aspect to it. Yeah, there's a bunch of things in there. I'm like, this is cool. This is cool. I want in. Some witty humor in there, too. If you actually get to listen to the trailer, go check it out. Very cool.
Oh, I hope it's better than Shadow Warrior humor. I can't handle that anymore. We also have an announcement for Sniper Elite 5 Season 2
Yeah.
of DLC, Rough Landing Mission and Weapons Pack. Playable in both single-player and co-op, Rough Landing is the latest thrilling mission in the Sniper Elite 5 campaign. Allied airmen have been shot down over a dense forest and are now in hiding as they are being hunted by Nazi forces. It's down to you to find and rescue the airmen and ensure that valuable intelligence is kept out of enemy hands. Featuring thick woodland, a cramped mine shaft, and a village to explore, expect a variety of challenges, including close quarters combat. This will add the Mosin-Nagant rifle and the Sjogren shotgun. I believe that is Swedish.
Very cool, dude. Very, very cool. Scott, we do have a couple games out. You got 10 seconds. What do we have?
We have Halo Infinite Season 3 today, Splatoon 3 DLC Wave 1 begins today, and Outlanders is out on PC.
Dude, you crushed it. That was good. And everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us noon Eastern. Join us over on Twitch as well as YouTube at the official ITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services, TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew. That's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.